Getting back to our agenda, in our report section, we'll get the Chief Financial Officer's report. And
Page 10.
starting on approximately page 11.
11.
Okay. All right, I just would like to update the board on Proviso Township Treasurer. The Treasurer's Office has agreed to sign a one-year extension for the 17-18 school year to continue using the current financial software program, DCR. The Township Treasurer's Office intends to research available web-based financial software programs for a possible conversion. A committee has been formed to explore web-based financial programs with the potential start date of July 1, 2018. Updates will be continuing to come in the future. There was a question submitted in regards to who is the committee. The committee is the business officials from all the different districts that belong to the treasurer's office.
So you're on the committee?
I'm on the committee.
Okay.
16 of you, right?
Yes, oh, 15.
15.
15.
Okay.
All right.
Scott, make sure just summarize each bullet point. And
Okay.
Then go to a kind of, don't have to read it. They can
Alright.
read it, so just summarize each bullet point.
Next thing in board packet, your board book packet, is the updated contract tool. The key ones are highlighted. Audit services, RFP has been sent out. The other key ones there will be vending, copier service, and postage lease machine.
How much do we pay on our postage machine, roughly? 4,000?
It's 3,000 for the year annually.
So we just need to get some quotes.
Quotes on it.
But unless there's some significant cost savings, I talked with Scott, that we want to make sure we're able to get our postage out, and everybody's already been trained on that. So if we could save a few $100s, but have to get everybody retrained, it might, just make sure we're not biting off our nose to spite our faces on that one.
Okay, just wanted to give that to the board to kind of update them where we're at. If you look, there is a timeline also on the contract tool as far as when the RFPs would be going out for the various services. The next thing in your board packet is the annual 2017 financial profile designation. The key thing here is that RB is at 3.7 out of 4.0, which gives the district financial recognition status, which is really good with it. I won't highlight what the different categories are out there, but the key thing here is that RB is at 3.7 out of 4.0.
We've been that way for 2 or 3 years in a row.
It's actually going, I believe this is the 5th year.
5th year, okay.
We went from financial review, I think, to financial.
Financial recognition.
Right.
Okay.
Or financial early warning to financial recognition.
Good, moving right along.
All right. The next thing in your packet is the second quarter building rental revenue report. It just kind of highlights paid invoices for our rentals. There was a question submitted on why is the aquatic center relatively low in respect to collecting revenue. Reason behind that is we received our payment for the aquatic rentals in January, so it will be reflected on quarter 3 report.
They don't have to pay up front. Isn't that what our agreement says?
This one, no, it's been worked out with that particular rental to work on doing it semi-annually.
Oh, you made a different arrangement with them?
To make it so it's not less chasing
Okay.
of the payment.
All right.
More in line with their lesson collection, too, for the
Mhm.
bullets and stuff.
After the building rental,
Scott, when you do that, you put the 3 years together on that? Because by itself, it doesn't tell me much.
3-year summary.
You know, need to do your charts. Always good to have a comparison.
okay. 3-year comparison. Okay, moving on, we have the financial reports for December. First one is the monthly report on there. Some of the key things on here. Monthly revenue, 630,000. Operating revenue for the first 6 months is roughly 11 million, which is 46% of budget. Our expenditures for the month were 6 million. The majority of that was our bond and interest payment. And operating revenue for the first 6 months was 13 million, roughly 55% of budget. We are watching the expenditures closely just to make sure that we're watching, what was budgeted versus what's being expended. And at the bottom of that is our operating fund balance at the end of December was roughly 10 million.
Next.
Okay, the last piece that we have is our 2016 roof and gym renovation tracking allowance document. Currently, the allowance was at 150,000, just as if anything extra came onto our projects. If you notice, we are roughly at 128,000 spent of the allowance. Out of that 128,000, roughly 80,000 of it is with life safety to go towards.
Hold on, Scott, what page are you reading toward?
Or did I skip one?
56.
You skipped something.
You skipped the close.
58, or you skipped
Oh.
activity accounts, but that's just an
Well,
FYI
yeah,
for
that's
the
just
board, right?
FYI activity accounts and then the revenue expense.
Okay. 58 is the tool, Mary Ann.
Right.
Now, that's just invoices in, invoices out,
No,
and
for-
budgets, correct?
For the
That
revenue
was in the
expense.
pack.
No, it was just updated this afternoon, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
With everything that came through with it.
After our construction meeting today with our CEO.
Okay.
So we wanted to make sure we highlight this for the board, that's why I'm having them go through it.
So where are we at versus the reserve or the?
So the reserve was, we had 150,000. And with everything spent on it, we're at 127,146.
That's what's been used.
Been used out of that reserve.
Right, now go to
You got the cap log from
cap log,
Nicholas.
which is looks like a Christmas tree.
Right.
Yeah.
Show them that, or pull that up, Mary Ann,
One
Board
right
book.
there.
right there. So out of the,
61.
we have spent, go ahead, you got this. So right now, you got some of them, like, wait, 127,000, we didn't do that many change orders, so you
Yeah,
gotta
I know.
explain yourself.
I know, on here, okay, so when we're looking at this here, the key highlight, you'll see going down the approved is at 183. The key things here that we need to mention is that cap number 9 is outside the scope of these projects, which is the granite panels.
How much was that?
The original
Just read the green box, the revised.
green box is revised at the 56,240 it came in at.
Okay, so that's down, if you take, so that brings us
See.
down to 130, right?
That brings us down to our.
Roughly?
Roughly 127.
Okay, now, there's one other cap in there.
And then we have our,
That wasn't a real true part of the project,
yes, which is our stairs.
which is what number?
That is cap 7R1,
And how much is 7R1?
101.
So if you take out 101 and 156,000, we really only used about, how much?
50.
Why are you arguing those are outside the scope of the project?
Because we agreed
Those
to
are
add
not,
them
those
on.
were not part of the project. We came to the board after the budget was
Right.
approved and said, if we have money remaining, should we redo exit G? The board said, yes, if there's money left over. So yes, and we have 80,000 roughly in, well, let me continue my explanation. So when we first came to the board, this was not, repairing the concrete stairs and granite panels was not part of this project.
Right.
So $150,000 was our allowance budget just for the gyms and the roof. When we came to you and realized that we didn't have to do the subfloor of the gymnasium, the concrete, we said, hey, that money that was in the allowance, should we use that to fix the stairs? The board said yes. Then Kerry said, hey, we have some money in life safety that can also be applied. So there's like roughly 50,000 that Scott's verifying with Kerry on how much of that 100,000 is going to be from life safety dollars that were in the original life safety report. Then, 2 months later, we brought a decision to this board saying, in order to keep the aesthetics of the front of the entrance, we may have to take money out of Fund 60 to address granite panels. Once again, not a part of the project. So if you look at it, we really only spent
Right, but
$30,000
the reason why
on
we
change
did the
orders.
stairs was because we knew we were gonna have savings on the original project.
Correct.
So
What
you
I'm-
have the offset of the savings from the original project to show on that sheet?
What I'm trying to what I'm trying to show you is Joel normally would not have put the stairs and the granite panels in this because it's not really a part of that project.
I think he understands if you want, what the original was 150.
So
From
really,
the
we only
original
spent like
part of the
27,000.
project, we spent 27, which left $123,000. But we spent how much on the stairs and granite plank?
156.
156, so we're 33,000 over, but we approved going 33,000 over when we made the decision to
Right.
fix the
Just wanted-
granite.
just wanted- yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what you were
That's
trying to
what
get
we're-
to,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, we're probably all saying the same thing here.
Yeah, it's just-
So I had, what Scott and I, anytime you want to jump in here, Scott, we had them use the cap log just so that we knew all the money going in and out. So if you look at this cap log, it looks like we went
Way
$33,000 over our allowance budget.
Oh, we did.
But once you take out the stairs and the
Guys,
granite
did,
panels.
Because
we did extras.
when I go to the floor on the spreadsheet, it's only $35,000 under budget.
Correct. 35 under budget,
Right.
right. And
So
it's really
where's the
about,
100 that we said on the subflooring?
we use it to pay for the stairs. If you look.
I know, but wouldn't,
If you look
shouldn't
at,
we have the original spreadsheet showing 100,000 on floor less, because we knew that we were gonna not have to do the subflooring? And it's only showing 35 under. On the spread, not your addendum sheet, go above on page 58.
okay,
So where is that savings? We're not doing the subflooring.
This is just revenue expenditures.
Isn't this the project?
The budget's on the left,
Yeah.
and it's supposed to show the difference.
so in E and K, where it says bleachers,
So that's where the subflooring was?
yes. If you
Even though it's
look,
under bleachers?
yes, he needs to amend the chart. Because E and K is the general trade, so if you look at it, they're doing all the caps.
So where's the 150? Well, how much was the subflooring savings? 150?
About 75,000.
Yeah, less, a little less than 100.
All right.
So I get what you're saying, so you wanna see on that sheet,
Well, I mean, that's what you said.
Yeah.
That's why we approved it.
right.
All right.
I totally understand, Scott, we need to,
Adjust that one.
right, and you also need to adjust for E and K of Chicago where it says 924. You need to put sub-trades or something so that, because that's whose allowance. If you look at
Thank
the next addendum, they had a $65,000 balance.
That's all right. Just want to make sure it's be clear, because we did that on the saying that we were going to have the
Yep.
savings. I just want to make sure it's
You wanna
clearly
show it.
identifiable. All right.
Okay.
Got it, Scott?
You guys can modify it.
Are we done with that
I'm
section?
done.
Yeah, but does all this make sense though, what we're saying? So technically, really about 27,000 were in change orders between the two projects. The 100 was for the stairs and 50 was for the granite.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so if you took those away from the 183 of everything we've spent in change orders, it's about 30,000.
Okay.
Thank you, Kevin and Scott.
Any more number questions? All right, Scott, thank you. We'll go now to survey the audience for seeing no one willing for visitor comments. Oh, okay, no one there for visitor comments. We'll move into our next section, which would be discussion information items. At this point in the meeting, the Board of Education members may request to add an additional item to discuss in the end of the meeting today. Seeing any on my right, seeing any on my left, we'll go farther. Discussion items on the agenda. First one is First Avenue Bike Path. Any update, Dr.
No update.
Skikas, from the last one we had?
No, sir.